Let the Marketplace help you pull together any party or any special occasion. The Marketplace Food Court offers all kinds of dishes, dinners, and sushi made to order. Choose from a variety of party platters, whether it's chicken wings or shrimp, classic meat and cheese, fruit and vegetables. Between the Marketplace Food Court and the Marketplace Bakeries, we have everything you need and more. Let the Marketplace be your kitchen away from home. Visit us 7 days a week for quality service and prices you can count on. Season's greetings from the Bermuda Public Service Union. The Executive, General Counsel, and Secretariat wish you a happy holiday and peaceful and prosperous New Year.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, December 22nd, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Long-term care for the elderly in Bermuda topping the list of urgent matters for the country to address in 2018. This according to the Executive Director of Age Concern, Dr. Claudette Fleming, who says that the recent advisory by the Bermuda Hospitals Board about delays to the availability of hospital beds around the Christmas period is just a symptom of a far greater problem.
It's difficult to tell people not to take anyone of any age to the hospital because really we have to leave those types of decisions to medical professionals to determine whether or not that person is in need of acute care services or not. And so families will have to make the judgment call. But even when you call the hospital and you're not sure, they're going to say to bring them in. Once they get there, it's a question of how they're being triaged and whether or not they are being triaged appropriately to acute care wards, and we can assume that that is happening correctly. So the question, I think, is not so much whether or not there is a legitimate need, because I don't think that anyone's going to be admitted to hospital unless at some point there's seen to be a legitimate need. The question is, where do we put persons who present in the first instance with an acute illness, but then there's this underlying long-term care need that is ever present. And there is, as I've said many times before, there is obviously a void and a shortage in our long-term care services. So that is the issue. And it is very predictable that we would have hospital bed blocks. One, we're an aging population. And two, we have a very limited long-term care infrastructure and a long-term care reimbursement procedures. In other words, ways to pay for families to keep family members at home adequately.
So what, if any, work is being done to address the issue at the root?
Generally speaking, you have to look on a case-by-case basis. Be interested to find out why are they not collect. Do they feel as though they do not have the resources at home? Have conditions changed? Because older people, they can get worse. In some cases, they can get better. And then is there an assessment that's made that home is not the place that they should be? Do families feel as though they will have no alternative? Are they there because we have a very limited respite services available, and people during the holiday times may feel as though they need a break? It's hard to say without really having a look at who's there and why they're there. It's hard to make a sweeping generalization.
Do you think that there is work happening to address those questions?
I don't know. A social worker by training and at heart, you really need a good social work team. I know the hospital has that, but in terms of how much social work is actually there, many social workers are there to support the transition. And then also, I know this for sure, what are social workers working with in terms of placing people back into the community? It's one thing to be able to do the assessment and to make the recommendations over what's needed. It's another thing to actually have the resources available to meet those needs. And I know that is somewhere where we are actually challenged.
In other news, at 7:05 a.m. this morning, Friday, December 22nd, police were on patrol along Kinleyfield Road in St. George's when they saw a motorcyclist commit a traffic offense. The officers attempted to stop the cycle. However, the rider increased speed, taking police on a chase along Kinleyfield Road. The motorcyclist circled the roundabout outside the LF Wade International Airport and weaved in and out of traffic, then mounted a sidewalk and continued west over the wrong side of Bailey Bridge onto the causeway. The chase continued over Blue Hole Hill, where the rider again circled the roundabout and traveled against the flow of traffic. The chase continued west along North Shore Road very briefly until the rider circled back towards the Swizzle Inn roundabout, where he narrowly missed an oncoming vehicle as he negotiated the roundabout improperly onto Wilkinson Avenue. The chase ended along Old Farm Road, where police were able to apprehend the rider, who will be placed before the courts in due course. No one was injured and no property was damaged, and the Bermuda Police Service apologizes for any angst or inconvenience this morning's chase may have caused road users. And in other news, the Hamilton Seventh-day Adventist Church is offering a free warm meal on Christmas Day for anyone that needs one between 12 and 3 p.m. on Monday, December 25th. The church is opening its doors to the public to sit down for a full buffet meal with all the Christmas trimmings as part of its seasonal Give Back initiative. The Fellowship Hall is located on King Street in Hamilton. Well, stay with us. More news and tonight's AccuWeather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Save $5 on USDA standing rib roast, only $14.99 per pound. Great for Christmas dinner broccoli crowns, just $3.99 per pound. Chappie's Sugary Sam sweet potatoes, only $1.79 for a 15-ounce tin. Ocean Spray cranberry sauce for your Christmas turkey, only $1.99 for a 14-ounce tin. Bluebonnet margarine sticks, just $1.79 for a 1-pound package. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
Blurry-eyed following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member, or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Santa suits
And party hats.
letters sent.
Gifts neatly wrapped.
It must be Christmas. Let the magic begin.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Colonial, where people come first.
Welcome back. Will Bermuda's insurance and reinsurance markets remain stable as the U.S. begins implementing new tax reform? Well, according to analyst Brad Kading of ABIR, it's impossible to know. Following landmark tax legislation, the impact on corporate operations in Bermuda are expected to be varied. However, the president of ABIR, Mr. Kading, suggests it's hard to predict the outcome for businesses.
There's no such thing as stability in a competitive market, right? So what you've seen in Bermuda in my 12 years is you've seen merger and acquisition activity, and you've seen new startup activity. That is the natural course of insurance markets. So you will always see M&A activity, and you will always see startup operations. Also, what you've seen in Bermuda is alternative capital entities being created that have played a significant role in the Harvey, Irma, and Maria losses. The BMA data is that Bermuda carriers picked up about $30 billion, or 30% of those hurricane losses, and that $30 billion is roughly split half and half between traditional insurance entities and the alternative capital providers in Bermuda. So there's a natural evolution that's occurring in Bermuda insurance. It's not correct to think about Bermuda insurance as a single corporate group. There are really four different and distinct sets of insurers operating in Bermuda: the traditional property and casualty companies and the beer membership, the longer established captive insurance market, the newly growing life insurance market, and then the successful alternative capital structures. So those are four separate and distinct Bermuda insurance segments, and it would be incorrect to think that what drives one drives all four, what affects one affects all four. They really are different economic actors in the environment.
And Mr. Kading recaps his 12-year tenure as head of ABIR.
It's been a time of great change in the business, a time of great change globally on insurance regulation. So it's been a great opportunity for me. I've enjoyed very much working with Bermuda regulators, Bermuda stakeholders generally, the Bermuda government officials of both parties. And I think this period of time has been a great opportunity that Bermuda has executed well in terms of building the mutual recognition agreements with Europe under Solvency II and with the U.S. state regulators under the qualified jurisdiction status. I think also we established a message for ABIR and on a global stage. We created data points that documented our contribution at making insurance markets more competitive, adding coverage opportunities and choices for consumers globally, and then we've worked with the BMA for the BMA to also build that important data set, as you've seen in the U.S. and the EU data calls that were published this fall. So figuring out how Bermuda can describe itself and describe how the role of the ABIR members and other insurers in Bermuda in a global marketplace has been very important. Working with the government on continued compliance with international standards and tax transparency and disclosure has been equally important.
Travelers, it's official. The United Kingdom will be reverting back to the old navy blue style passports in October 2019 when it has exited the European Union. The Home Office in London confirmed the current burgundy colored travel documents, which bear the name of the European Union at the top, will be ditched at that time, with a return to the old color meant to symbolize Britain's new beginning outside the EU. The change will mean Bermuda passports will now follow suit and once again be issued in navy blue, as was once the case before they changed in the 1980s. Andrew Rossendale, the nationalist British MP, had described the current burgundy British passports as a source of national humiliation, and that a return to the older design would demonstrate Britain's national identity and instill pride when traveling overseas. It was a special day at the Hamilton Fire Station where fire service officers recognize a very special person among their own ranks. It was the annual ceremony in which the Bermuda Fire and Rescue Service names its Firefighter of the Year. The tradition going back years in honor of distinguished fireman William Eugene Glassford, who passed away in 1997. Giving remarks about the man that inspired the award, Lieutenant Dana Lovell recalled him as a stalwart, a mentor, and a firefighter's firefighter.
He was one that not only addressed his job as professionally as he could, but he ensured that all of the younger firefighters that he came in and had the opportunity to work with understood their job as well. And his impression was indelible. His presence is still felt among some of us older members that can recall Billy walking around. He had a very powerful, very authoritative voice, and once Billy spoke, everybody listened. He actually carried the weight of an officer at his level, and we just certainly miss him, and we appreciate everything that he brought to the service and represented.
And Fire Sergeant Gavin Carter took a moment to explain just what prizes this year's recipient of the award, Fireman Lionel Ferbert, would be receiving.
We have from Travel Edge in the amount of $700, a gift of travel that was donated in conjunction with the Glassford family and our own Fire Service Association. We have from our friends Rubis a $100 gas voucher. From Colonial Insurance, they donated a $250 insurance voucher. From the Marketplace, $200 for groceries. Our very own James Waters Service, $200. From the escape room, and if you guys don't know what the escape room is, it's a room where you have to figure out how to get out of this room. They've donated up to 8 people can go down and experience the escape room.
Belmont Hills, the Reeves Grotto Bay, the Hamilton Princess also donating prizes. But the real story is that the fireman Lionel Ferbert, who was sitting in the audience, did not know he'd been selected until the last minute. Fire Chief Reginald Lloyd Burchell had taken to the podium to drop hints as to who had won before finally giving a name.
I heard some of the firemen in the background saying, "Oh, I wonder who they picked for Firefighter of the Year." You know, it's probably somebody that, you know, does something to a real part. And I told them, I just laughed, you know, because they're going to be surprised. Believe it or not, I didn't have a vote. And the committee approached me and said, "Oh, we've picked the Firefighter of the Year." And I called the name. And they said, "How you knew? Did you see it?" I said, "It's too obvious for me. I've seen this individual at fires. He's like a lion."
Without any further ado, we would like to announce who the recipient of the 2017 Firefighter of the Year. It is none other than Firefighter 88, Mr. Lionel Portland Ferbert. That's him. That's him.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm not a public speaker, but I'm not shy either. But I'm very humbled for this. It was never my good or an ambition of mine. I just come here to do my job and to do it to the best of my ability, because that's how I was raised. You know, that's what was instilled in me by my mother. So, thank you very much. I'm very humbled.
Oh, and congratulations to Fireman Ferbert. Turning to weather news, the gorgeous sunny conditions will continue through the weekend. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
Good evening. Hopefully you had a nice day today. This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. And today, a lot drier than it was yesterday. That front that brought us all that rain, it is now far off to our east. And you can see there's really not much going on. High pressure is building, and we're going to see a couple of really nice days. So a pretty quiet night tonight, not much expected. The temperature is right now around 67 degrees. The humidity a lot less than it was yesterday. Yesterday, it was in the 80s. And now it's around 60 to 65%. The winds out of the northeast, 10 to 15 knots, and the waves inside the reef a little calmer, 1 to 2 feet, and outside 4 to 6 feet. So for tonight, it's going to be pretty quiet, partly cloudy and warm, 66 degrees for our low. Tomorrow, it's going to be mostly sunny, a couple of clouds passing through, a high temperature of 72 degrees, which is very seasonable. That's around where it should be this time of year. Taking a look at our tide times, the first high tide, 11:25 p.m. on Friday, and the second one at 11:41 in the morning on Saturday. And if you're traveling, well, you're in luck. We do have a couple other forecasts for you. Toronto, a bit cloudy there and on the cold side, 32 degrees. We're seeing some rain from New York to Boston, even into Atlanta. Warmer there, though, 69 degrees. Miami, gorgeous conditions. We're in the low 80s with some sunshine, and London, 53 with mostly cloudy skies. Here in the Caribbean, of course, it's warmer. It's more humid as well. Jamaica, 91 degrees. It's staying sunny and nice. Barbados and also Trinidad, a couple of showers moving through. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Now for the next couple of days, it's going to stay pretty nice around here. A mix of clouds and sun on Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in those low 70s. Monday, we are going to have a cold front move through, and we do have the chance of a few scattered showers. We're not talking a major rain event, just a few showers. A high of 74 on Monday, and after that front moves through on Tuesday, we are going to see a bit cooler in our temperatures, 70 degrees for the high, and then Wednesday, another system pushing through with a couple more showers. Stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and weather.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
advertising in the car electric bikes in Hamilton, Bermuda. Very cool bike to ride, very fun bike to ride. Simple operation. You would turn on the battery, turn on the computer, and the bike is basically ready to go.
Order now for a limited time. Get the Explorer for $19.96 till December 23rd. Call today, 441-234-1087.
This is an important and valuable message from the Ministry of Transport and Regulatory Affairs to all of Bermuda to take more care on our roads.
This is Deputy Premier and Transport Minister Walter Raban. In 2017, once again, Bermuda lost too many lives on our roads. You don't need a holiday to know that you should think before your first alcoholic drink. If you intend to consume alcohol, do so responsibly. Have a strategy for getting home without driving impaired. Join the smart ones this holiday and plan ahead. Think before you drink. Help make this a happier and safer holiday for everyone. Join me, the Bermuda Road Safety Council, and CARTA in a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Think before you drink.
Good news ahead for tourism in 2018. Over $84 million may be injected into the economy as the just-released cruise ship schedule projects a 12% rise in cruise calls to the island during the shoulder months. Jasmine Patterson tells us more.
April, October, and November have usually been the slow months in terms of cruise ship arrivals to the island. However, government projects a sharp rise in cruise visitors outside of summer. According to the 2018 Bermuda cruise ship schedule, cruise calls are projected to rise 12% overall, and cruise visitor arrivals are forecast to jump 13%. Bermuda is expected to receive 180 cruise ship calls, bringing approximately 470,000 passengers. That amounts to 19 more cruise ship calls and over 50,000 more passengers in 2018 compared to 2017. Cruise ship calls for April are up 67%, up 33% in October, and 50% in November next year. The joint strategy was carried out by the Ministry of Transport and Regulatory Affairs, the Ministry of Economic Development and Tourism, as well as the Bermuda Tourism Authority. So how does this translate economically? The total projected economic impact of both visitor spending and government tax revenue is $84.8 million, with $59.8 million estimated in visitor spending and $25 million in tax revenue. The total economic impact would be an increase of approximately $12 million year over year. The city of Hamilton will see 17 calls in 2018, down from 26 in 2017. The increase in 2017 was due to the America's Cup, which brought additional luxury callers during the summer months. St. George's will see 16 calls in 2018, up 2 from 2017. Deputy Premier and Minister of Transport and Regulatory Affairs Walter Raban said, "We are excited to have Disney Cruise Lines make its first set of calls in October 2018, and our ongoing relationship with Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings means their smaller cruise ships like the Oceana and Regent Seven Seas brands will be back to Hamilton and the town of St. George this year, stimulating economic activity." On reflection, 2017 proved to be a year of growth for Bermuda's cruise travel market. According to government, Bermuda received 161 cruise ship calls, bringing just over 400,000 passengers, an increase of 4.6% over 2016. The total estimated economic impact for both visitor spending and government tax revenue is expected to be more than $72 million. Jasmine Patterson reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Now, Earl Baston has tonight's sports report.
A dream for some has become reality for one. Adam Hall was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles after starting his career right here at the YAO Ballpark. He was here earlier today to talk to me about how things transpired.
Well, I mean, the whole process really started here. Moved up to Canada when I was 12, kind of played with a team up there, the Great Lake Canadians. A couple ex-professional guys helped run that, and then just kind of went through the pre-draft circuit over in the U.S. and I mean, got drafted, ended up where I am now. I mean, the whole thing is pretty exciting.
Now, for some, they would think the process of getting to the professional level is that quick. But in baseball, it takes a while to actually break into the major league, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, most teams will have 5 or 6 farm teams within their system. And so when you get drafted, especially at a high school, you start right from the bottom. So if you were to get there in 4 years from high school, that's considered very quick. So, I mean, it's a process. You got to go through it all, but I mean, hopefully it's all worth it in the end.
As we reported, Delray Rollins has returned to the island for a brief break from cricket in Australia, and the new president of the Bermuda Cricket Board, Lloyd Smith, congratulated the youngster for his achievements thus far.
On behalf of Bermuda Cricket Board, as well as on behalf of the cricket fraternity and Bermuda community, congratulate Delray on his performance last weekend as the man of the match from the King Grove Sports 2020. Yeah, and he had a match-winning performance in the match. Batting, he made 57 runs, 4 sixes, 4 fours. Good knock.
Recently, a Bermuda team was named to train in preparation for 2 upcoming tours, and Rollins' name was included in the training squad, something that Smith wanted to clear up.
As we has released our training squad, the Delray has been included, but Delray is due to have some professional commitments during our Argentina and Malaysia tour, so Delray wouldn't be available for a tour or for selection for that tour. So just wanted to let the public know, because I know a lot of people seeing his name in the training squad. I want to make it completely clear the Bermuda Cricket Board is completely behind the supporting of Delray in his pursuit of his professional career, and behind him in any way possible to help him fulfill his dream.
Rollins offered these words after realizing he is still eligible to play for Bermuda.
Yeah, at the time, to be honest, I didn't really know how it worked with the under-19s and all that, coming back to play for Bermuda. But to my understanding, I still am allowed to play for Bermuda without anything being matched up, over that side of the world. And I mean, as Mr. Smith said, the timing of both tours are probably not ideal for myself, and that's mainly, the reason why I probably won't be involved in any of them. But, any chance you get to play for your country is quite special, and, if it came about and I was available and it wouldn't mess up anything over that side of the world, then I shouldn't see why not, why I wouldn't be able to play.
Bermuda Olympian Flora Duffy has been named the Triathlon Short Course Female Athlete of the Year. This was a massive year for the 30-year-old Bermudian. After a slightly disappointed 8th place finish in Rio in 2016, Duffy went on a World Triathlon Series winning streak that stretched from the 2016 Grand Final in Cozumel to the 2017 Grand Final in Rotterdam in September of this year, with only one hiccup, a 2nd place finish in Montreal, and that came in August. After taking her 2nd straight ITU World Championship title, Duffy went on to claim her 4th consecutive Exterior World Championship crown in October, roughly a month after winning the star-studded Island House Invitational Triathlon in November.
Mixed peel or farine, just $3.99 a pound for your Christmas baking. New Zealand frozen whole lamb legs, only $4.99 per pound. Champion seedless raisins, just $3.09 for a 12-ounce box. Coke, Barrett's Ginger Beer, or Sunkist Orange Soda for your holiday parties, only $5.85 for a 6-pack. For your Christmas trimming, Cross and Blackwell Piccalilli, just $5.49 for a 310-gram jar. Have a safe and Merry Christmas holiday from the Marketplace family.
You can count on us.
Blurry-eyed following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us, and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member, or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
That's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. On behalf of everyone here at the Bermuda Broadcasting Company, we'd like to thank you for your viewership. We wish you a very Merry Christmas filled with everything that you love. Good night, Bermuda.